What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a call-in show, as usual on Wednesday slash Sunday. We are going to talk about Chiesa, obviously, because that's kind of the main topic right now. Because apparently, according to the media, it all stands and falls with Chiesa's decision or his lack of decision. Basically, that's what it is right now, and the issue kind of created by probably the club as well, a little bit. You know, if you read the different reports surrounding Chiesa. So that's what we're going to talk about. A little bit about the latest updates, even though it's probably going to be a very quiet week. If nothing else drops today, really, it's probably going to be a quiet week. You know, they tried to do the gold miners offer last week, and nobody got it right because apparently there has been no gold miners offer at all ever since they had reported that. What was it, last Thursday, last Wednesday or so? So that didn't happen as well. But there is some things, to talk about, and probably Alfredo Pedula and Fabrizio Romano Di Marzio, are gonna talk in the next 15-20 minutes. So we will see what they have to say, and maybe the club has actually done something today, rather if not just announcing Turam. And I see that people are calling in. I will bring one by one in a sec, really quickly. But yeah, that's basically the backstory of this life. Chiesa, that's where it kind of falls and stands. Again, we need to go back really quickly to the meeting. I think the meeting was in November when it first came about. That, and I see the title is wrong. That's not okay. So let me switch this one up. It happened in November when we had first talks with Chiesa's agent, Ramadani, and nothing really happened. I can hear you. I'll bring you in a sec. When the news came out that Chiesa was in talks, quote unquote, for a new deal, and then it was around end of January, start of February, and I said there's still nothing on the possible renewal, and that was very worrying. Whatever, that was very dodgy. That this didn't feel at the time like a club who really wanted Chiesa to be here the next season, because they knew, and people calling in, I can hear you, by the way. But if the club in early January, the end of February, whatever you want to call it, still didn't really open any talks to keep Chiesa, that told me, and I said at the time, the club is not really 100% convinced in moving forward with Chiesa. That's what it is, because they knew the Euros around the corner, and they still were very open to basically let Chiesa play and play for, I don't know, even more money, because if he had a great Euro, he could say, I want even more money, So that was basically the entire point of the story. And now we are here sitting, what is it, the 10th of July, and the club told Chiesa, you can leave, and Chiesa said, good, fine, but I'm gonna take my time the club doesn't really have at this moment in time, because they're trying to wrap up targets, and it all depends on what is gonna happen with Chiesa. They know what's gonna happen with Chiesa, he's out, but Chiesa doesn't know what's gonna happen with himself, because he's taking time, and that's time right now Giuntoli doesn't have. Basically, he doesn't have that type of time. And I think I talked with Julian on a live. I think it was Julian, or maybe Norbert, I'm not sure anymore. And he said that if this drags on a little bit, too much, then it could go south. It could go south, because Giuntoli might be forced selling players he doesn't really want to sell, but just for the sake of getting the main targets or the potential main targets in ahead of the season. That's a dangerous game that basically is being played right now between Giuntoli and Chiesa, who, by the way, I saw a lot of people flipping now and saying get out, whatever, and all those things. Chiesa has every right to take his time. His offer is Roma. If I were Chiesa, I was gonna take my time. If Roma was my offer, for my next chapter in my career, what is he, 26? So basically the last one, where you should be exploding. By the way, hit your prime. Then I would think about it not once, not twice, but 100 times. And even at that 100 time, I would still be inclined to say, nah, not joining Roma if I move away from Juve, basically. And if I still believe in myself, that's what it is. So I don't think you can really be angry with Chiesa, in my opinion, because he's just doing what I think everybody would be doing if we were in his place. And I unmuted one caller. Can you hear me? No? Oh? Let me read out the chat a second. That's what happened when you spread. That's what happened when you spread news through the media that you want to sell Chiesa instead of doing it without a single word. This will derail our transfer activity. The club could have told his agent it's done, we're not offering you a contract, and he could have leaked that to the media. That was always going to get leaked to the media. And to be honest, if it's 1st of July and there's still no contract, everybody on planet Earth knows he's up for sale. Like there didn't need to be any leak. If there's no contract talk at the beginning of July, you know what time it is. We saw it with Dybala, and we know how it ended. So the leaks, it could have been the agent. It was just going to be out there no matter what. Can you hear me, by the way? No? Okay. I can't see how the club can afford Sancho, Cope, and Toribo. Can you hear me? I can hear you. What's your name? Hello? No. Can you hear me? Okay. We can't get any target if you don't sell, and sell. Yeah, if you don't sell well, we do need to sell well. That's for sure, But the dangerous game right now is that he cannot sell Chiesa, so that means he's gonna be forced in selling other players. I saw the reports today saying that it doesn't even matter if Chiesa is taking his time. The club is not really angry about it. They are like, we can move on without your decision right now. I think it's more of a bluff. I think you can move forward in talks, but if Chiesa's like, I'm not going anyway, I'm staying right here, then you are not really gonna sign a player, are you? Like that makes really financially doesn't make a lot of sense for the club. So it is a problem for Giuntoli. It's not a problem for Chiesa, that's for sure. But for Giuntoli right now, it is a massive problem. Don't think anyone expected to do everything in one transfer window. No, I agree. And I think at the end of the transfer window, we will be still sitting here saying this and this is still not addressed. And that's only kind of normal because it's too much to address at this moment in time. It's way too much. If you just look at the list, that still needs to be done, player-wise, like ingoings, outgoings. You have players at the club who are not even linked with a transfer right now, who have no offers. Kostic, Milik, they don't really have offers. McKennie, and you're still looking to get these players out of the door. The players who have offers are potentially players you're not really jumping, of joy to get them out. If you can, oh good, if the fee is well. But if not, then no. Huijsen has an offer, Sule has an offer, not high enough for the club right now. But the other players that you actually want to get out, excuse me, Milik, Keane is out, McKennie, Kostic, Arthur, like they still have a contract, and that for Giuntoli is a massive problem to work around. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? No? Okay. I can hear you, yeah. I can hear you. I'll bring you in. Wait, let me bring you in really quickly.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah. this is the hardest part for Giuntoli so far. He did easy part. I agree. Now comes the tough part, and when you have players like McKennie who are taking their time, Chiesa who's taking his time, and you can say, hey, Chiesa's not that bad a player. It's not an issue for Giuntoli and for Malta and for the club. It is an issue because they want to move on from Chiesa, and they want to bring somebody else in. And as if hello,
Yeah, can you hear me?
it's worse. I think you need to plug in your earpieces again.
Hold on.
Zero McKennie rumors has me worried. We have to deal with another summer of him saying, no, I don't think there's a chance he's going to stay. I think the club will find a solution. Even if it's on deadline day, they already replaced him. So those are the players you can even move on deadline day. You know, so he's going to move out. He's just not going to be part of this team anymore. It makes no sense. What are your thoughts on Sane? No. Absolutely no. I agree with you that we can play Chiesa. Is he right to do what he does? But I want him gone at this point. Manu saw West Ham is like plus 10 kilograms. I've not seen that. I've not seen that. No. Can anyone still hear me in the live? In the call-in? No. Huijsen and Sule must be retained. Future of our club and offers have been below par. Actually, for Huijsen, the offer is close. Is closer than the Sule offer, because for Sule the club wants around 40 and the rumored offer is 25, so it's not even close. For Huijsen the club wants around 30 and the rumored is to be 20ish plus 5 in bonuses, so that's closer to potentially getting done compared to Sule, who is like almost double of the asking price, completely off. So the Sule one is far of being a done deal at any point. The Huijsen one could be actually a done deal a lot sooner than anyone really can imagine, and it would be surprising. It really would be surprising after missing out on Calafiori. I think a lot of people assumed that you're gonna keep that type of player in the team, and well, it's just basically not gonna happen. And can anyone still hear me in the live call-in? Let me know, because I cannot hear anyone, so you might need to jump in and out again. I feel for Giuntoli, to be honest. He inherited a mess and he has become a magician to get it out, and has to become... I don't feel for him, by the way. Before he took on the job, he knew what the job meant. So I don't feel for somebody who knew what he was stepping into and also was getting paid accordingly, to do so. So I don't feel for him. He took on the job. He know what the situation is, and that's it. You have the job of your dream, apparently, according to him. Now it's up to you to make it work. That's why the club is paying you millions, and that's your job. So I don't feel for him at all. I give him time. I sympathize with him because I don't think it's easy to fix right now. But I don't feel for him. He's off to a good start. Even though you might want to keep Barnechea and Junior, the contract situation with Junior put him in that position. Barnechea, he needed to act quickly. Do you want Douglas Luiz? Yes or no? Then we need to do that. Thuram, 20 million apparently, not even 20 plus 5. That's actually a very good deal. 20 million in today's market is good value. 20 million is basically the base price for a random midfielder at this moment in time. It really is. Hello? I can hear you. What's your name? Alan. Wait, I will bring you in. One sec. Okay. I think you're in. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Tanzania.
Oh, I think, did you call in already, or was it somebody else? I forgot. I can't keep track of them all.
Yeah, I called earlier.
Oh yeah, I remember you. I remember you. Chiesa, I don't think we were in this situation the last time you called in. Actually, we were not in this situation. It was still, according to the media, all up in the air. Is he going to say? Is he not going to say? But he's not going to say according to the club, but according to himself, he is going to stay. According to himself, he is taking his marriage very seriously, and then he will rock up in preseason and we'll figure it out. What do you think his plan is right here? Is it putting pressure on the club, or is it really taking time to make the best decision for his career?
Yeah, I think he's taking his time. That'll be my perspective on it. Because of the offers that he's getting, right? Getting an offer from Roma, that's not. Yeah, you're not a Dybala, so don't do Roma. Sorry, all Roma fans, but yeah, no. I think it's probably best that he goes up the tier if possible, maybe going abroad. But with the performance that he's had so far, I don't see that. I honestly don't. If I was in his shoes, I'll probably be thinking around going to like maybe Liverpool or like Arsenal or like obviously not Man United. Sorry, Man United fans, but nah. So, anyways, I feel he just probably just taking his time on it, and yeah, and we all know that Giuntoli can't really do anything about it because you can't really force a player out, right? You just have to be patient with him and see what happens. But there are a lot of rumors going around right now, which I'm not really sure how true they are. There was actually an article that I read a while back that said Chiesa was actually planning to leave Juventus even before this period. I don't know how true that is, but it seems like it was his agent was already shopping for him to leave, which I'm really surprised about. But yeah, there's just a lot of things going on around right now that we're not really sure what it really is because some people are saying Mota doesn't want him. Mota has said, "Yeah, you're out of project. We don't need you." Some people are saying that maybe we just give it a try and let's see what happens. So yeah, the information out there, I don't think is as accurate as it needs to be around the case. I think it's going to be more accurate when he leaves, or maybe if he decides to stay, then we'll get enough information on it.
It's like like there are different stories out there,
Yeah, yeah,
uh, conflicting stories as well. Like if you read one story and the next day you read the other one, you're like, okay, one story, like one of the two journalists or whatever is lying because it's completely different. My 2 cents is that they talked in November, and they said we'll talk again in a couple of months, basically, and that's what they did. They did, and the performances were not what they should have been according to the club. That's what I'm gonna say, and I think they told this agent that we're okay with a new deal, but this is the new deal, and it might be far off what he and his agent had in mind. At that point, I believe, because at that point there were also rumors that Chiesa promised the club he's not leaving on a free, and all those things came out at the time. I think at that point he said, okay, then I'm gonna take my shot, with the Euros and whatever. It didn't really work out, and I think the club then came back and said, okay, we made a decision. It's done. We cannot really work together because I see a lot of people saying give him a 1 year deal and then we'll see. That is the issue. The club doesn't want to commit even for a 1 year deal. They made a decision that it's over. Now we can discuss if it's the right decision or the wrong decision. That's a different point. But the point is that they sat together, Giuntoli and Motta, and I think Giuntoli told Motta, this is it. We need to hand out a 3 year deal worth, I don't know how much amount, close to 20 million euros net. I'm just making it up, by the way, 18 million euros, whatever, for 3 years. For the club, this is what it will cost. That means we cannot do this, this, and this, and you have a player in Chiesa who, according to Motta, according to the rumors, is a one-sided player, something that Motta doesn't like. I think at that point, Motta said, okay, then I'm very open to just move on from Chiesa and we start from ground zero basically again. That's how I think. I think it's a mixture of they wanted him to stay, but not at those conditions, and then they just did bite the bullet and said, okay, it's over, keep it moving. We made a decision. I saw a report saying that the club never offered a deal to Chiesa. That could be right, but I would be very shocked because if that was the case, that news would have been leaked by his agent weeks, months ago. It would have. He would have leaked that immediately to put pressure from the media, the fans on the club. before the Euros, all fans would have been, "You're not offering a new deal. What are you doing?" You know what would have happened. I think that would have been leaked way in advance. So I think it's just again a mixture of money, future, and just a new way of the club. Giuntoli coming in, Motta coming in, saying, "Not really a fan of him, and we want to start. We want to do it our way." And that's basically it. And he's taking the heat right now. It also tells you if we are ready to accept 20 million and a bit, just to make it look good on the books. I think that's all you need to know. What the club made the decision. They're very open. Actually, they're on their knees almost. If you look at the fee for someone to take on Chiesa, that's how I view it. So he can wait until the 20th, and he's gonna wait, and he has every right to take his time. But I think it's done. Like it's over. It really is. There's no chance he's gonna stay on. Or do you believe you can convince Motta in about 10 days that he is the right man?
Yeah, I think that would be a very tricky one. That would be really tricky to convince Mota. But I don't know. I think part of reasons why Juventinis are in complete, denial of all of this is because of the affection that we have for Chiesa, right? Like
Yeah,
it's just, and we want that Chiesa that we used to have. You get what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. I don't know if it's ever gonna get back that form again, right? And to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of Sancho as well. Like I feel Sancho and Chiesa, they're almost the same, really, because I've watched some Premier League games and I've seen Sancho just disappear completely. Even when he was at Dortmund, he wasn't really like, except from like the Champions League, right? I don't think he really stood out as much. So like it's kind of like choosing your poison at this point. Like, what do you think will probably, if Mota thinks that Sancho is the way to go, fine. But I feel that even if we get that money, maybe we could have invested into someone else. I would actually, I'm gonna say something very controversial right now, but personally, I'll prefer Adeyemi over Sancho.
Who? Adeyemi?
Adeyemi, yeah,
I don't think it's that
because
controversial.
yeah, because I feel Adeyemi has pace. Sancho, I don't think is that fast from my point of view. I think Adeyemi is gonna bring a lot to the table because he has some level of skills to him, and I think it's even younger too, if I'm not mistaken. He's younger than Sancho as well, because I know Sancho is
Could
like
be.
2 years younger than Chiesa, right?
It could be younger. I'm not aware. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, yeah. So I think Adeyemi is also younger. So like at the end of it all, I don't know, but we'll see how it all goes, really. But I'm not a big fan of the old Sancho move. I Yeah, if not because of how Greenwood had whatever he has, you get what I'm saying? Like his whole complexity around him. Like I would personally prefer Greenwood over Sancho. But because of the complexity around Greenwood, obviously we don't want to go that route because Juventus have been painted in such a, we've had our own fair share of the bad light. We don't want to add more to it. But yeah, that's just my only take on it though.
I think, like, I like Sancho as a player. I always liked, but I agree that he might not be the right profile right now.
Mhm.
Because of like he's very inconsistent the last couple of seasons. He is, and Chiesa has been inconsistent. So we're actually replacing an inconsistent player with an inconsistent player, and that for me is an issue, right? And again, Mota made that decision, so that's up to him, I guess. Final question before I bring the next one up because I have two waiting still.
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
what do you think is the next move for the club? If Chiesa, let's say Chiesa takes his time until the 20th, and let's say the start of August before they actually makes a decision. What do you think the club is gonna do? To generate funds and bring in, I don't know who, coal miners maybe, but again, no offer has been made for coal miners, and it's the second week of July.
It's a bit of a sticky one. If we are not able to get Chiesa out, um, I love Sule a lot. Like I would not want to let go of Sule to be honest with you. Um, Yeah, we probably have to maybe like sell some other players. There's a lot of players on the list though that we haven't even looked at yet. We have what's his name? The guy from Serbia. Um,
Samardzic. Uh,
um,
it's
I don't remember
Samardzic.
what his name is. No, the guy from Serbia that is in our team.
Oh, Kostic. Oh
Uh,
yeah, he's not. Yeah,
Kostic.
yeah,
Yeah, we still have Kostic in there. Kostic. we still have
yeah.
we still have lots of players that we just need to get rid of that they are pretty much deadwood. So I think we should probably just go that route. This Okiesa thing, I personally like, my little intuition is telling me that we might have to just bite the bullet on it and just give him an extra year just to save face on this thing, because I personally don't think it's gonna like be that easy exit the way it's seeming like right now. That's just my little intuition on it. We probably just need to focus on other players and just get them out. And if Chiesa works out fine, if it doesn't, we shouldn't really depend so much on it. Because I think Cup Miners is very important for us to get, as opposed to us just dwelling on Chiesa and hoping for the best on it.
Yeah. We will see. I said it early. We still need to sell quite a few players, and that's gonna be the tricky one for Giuntoli. But man, thanks for calling in. I'm gonna bring in the
So,
next one. Speak
okay.
to you soon. Let me see. Hello, can you hear me? I can hear you. Wait, let me bring you in 1 second. Hello. Wait. Wait. Let me reload it quickly. Um. Here we go. Okay, so next caller. Same question. Because somebody said the title is wrong. Chiesa is not in control. I will explain why I think he's in control, and then I will ask you if he's in control. He's in
Yeah.
control because Giuntoli needs the money, and he told him leave. But Chiesa has a contract, and he can take his time. He's taking his time, and that's not really time Giuntoli has. So that's why I'm saying he is in control because he has a contract, and the club, even if he says, "I'm leaving on a free, I'm not going," Motta's not going to bench him for an entire season. He's going to use him. He's just going to use him by default. I don't think the club will make a big scene out of it as well. They will use him. So that's why I think he's in control. But what do you say? Do you think he's in control right now?
Oh, he's definitely in control because now the ball is in his court. Now it's like, okay, he probably knows Mota doesn't want him, so he has two choices: either A, wait for better offers from other teams except Roma, or try to convince Mota to see that he is the right player for the job.
Yeah, I agree. He's in total control right now. Because for the club, the perfect solution would have been he would have accepted Roma by now. That's how Giuntoli probably imagined it, thinking that he's gone and we move for, I don't know, Sancho. Apparently, you never know, but we move on for our next target, his replacement, and we keep it moving. But right now you're kind of stuck with it. You cannot replace him because he's still there, and if he's gonna say like potentially he could, and if he's gonna walk on a free, I don't think staying with a year extension, the club is not gonna replace him this season. They're not going to do it, because it wouldn't make sense financially for the club. So right now, he is in control, and that will play itself out. I think in the next, I don't know, 2-3 weeks apparently. So we need to just wait and see. But yeah, that's that part of the news. His replacement apparently is, well, there were links last time, Sancho, but now it feels like it is gonna be Sancho, and he agreed with Juve. I'm joining basically. The club is basically telling him wait because we still have Chiesa, and we need to be 100% sure that we will free up Chiesa. I've seen 1,000 reports on Sancho saying that it will be a loan with an obligation. Manu paying part of the wages this season, and then if he signs on, the wages will be half what he's earning, which will be suitable for the club. Whatever. That's kind of the deal. How it potentially could be structured. But what do you like? What do you think we need if you move on Chiesa, profile wise? Not really name, but just profile wise.
Profile wise, I'm going to be honest with you. I do like Sancho a lot. I watch the Premier League a lot. In fact, obviously I'm a Juventino, but my favorite team in England is Manchester United, so I watch a lot of Man United games. The problem is if Ineos wants to give Sancho to Juve on loan instead of completely having another team buy him out. Knowing how they work, I don't think they're going to put Sancho on loan. It's going to be very tricky because what if Sancho doesn't do well at Juve? Now what? We have to send him back again, unless they give Juve an obligation to buy if we get Sancho. But then we have, for example, then the other profile would be Greenwood. I do not want Greenwood at all.
Oh, he's going Marseille. He's going Marseille, so that's kind of. Okay. He's going Marseille.
Good, even better. Yeah, because I don't want a player that has that past, that history with him. That's not Juventus material, in my opinion. Honestly, I don't see why Mota can't integrate both Sancho and Chiesa in the team. I think he can definitely do that. Regarding that, it's just, okay, let's say we do sell off Chiesa. What are we going to get? Coal miners? You know? But who else would be replaced? Oyemi, as the previous caller said. Maybe him. He could be good replacement as well. But besides that, I think Sancho is the perfect replacement for Chiesa. Yeah. If we don't keep Chiesa.
And Alex, I know you're pissed, but you're assuming the club is spreading the rumors. Agents spread rumors. Players spread rumors. You're not gonna keep this in house. You know, whatever. You can be angry at the club. If the club kept his mouth shut, it would have still been out. Like that's just how it is. You know, it's this is not new. I don't think you're new to the transfer window. Players League. Look at Fabrizio Romano tweet. If that's not the indication to know that players and agent talk to journalists and they leak stuff, then I don't know what it is. You know, Fabrizio Romano is a walking mouthpiece for players and agents. Like that's just what it is. There's proof out there, whatever, and that's okay because the club uses the media and the players and the agents use the media. That would have always been leaked. So that kind of point you're kind of dwelling on, you can't be frustrated for nothing because that was always going to be out there. You know, if the club told him you're not part of the plan anymore, if the club kept quiet, his agent would have leaked that to the media. It would have leaked. You know, you cannot keep these things in-house. Never. That's just impossible in today's society, basically. Social media, impossible. It's always gonna get leaked. And again, it's start of July. There's not even any idea or like even the worst sources talking about a contract renewal. I mean, just, you know, sit back and just understand what the situation is. You know, there is no renewal, period. You know, we didn't need any leaks whatsoever. We knew what the issue right here is. You know, if it's contract or the club doesn't rate him anymore, it's the same thing. The club made the decision that you're not good enough for what we want to do. So that's just what it is right now. Again, next question. Because I think the last time we spoke, we were like, okay, what's gonna happen? Actually, nothing really happened. We just made the players. We just made the players that we were already gonna assign official: Thuram, Di Gregorio, Douglas Luiz. But other than that, nothing really happened. You know, Colt Miner's main target, absolutely not a single word on that as well. Are you, and even on the outgoings, like Keane, we knew those players were gone. Are you a bit worried right now because this is week 2, you know, of the transfer window, week 2 in July? Are you a bit worried that we still have so much to do out and ingoings that it kind of feels it's going to be impossible to do so in a respectable time frame ahead of the season before it kicks off?
I'm a little bit worried. I know we finally sold Moise Kean to Fiorentina. He's finally out. I would like to see I like Kostic in the beginning, but I would like to see Kostic out, all the deadwood like Arthur, um, Deshio. I would like all those players out as fast as possible. But hopefully, Giuntoli is cooking something. Hopefully, but now did you hear about the news now that apparently we're trying to get to bring Cancelo back as well?
Yeah, I don't believe that. I think he's just been offered to the club, and that's about it.
Yeah, we'll see how concrete that is. But honestly, I do in a way like the pace we're going in. Like for example, I'm very excited of Thuram. I've seen videos of him how he plays. I'm very excited about him. Douglas Luiz, I've known Douglas Luiz for years. Um, the thing is, I think in a way we're going at the right pace. But like I said, the one thing I'm still mad at till now, obviously, is that we lost Calafiori. I wanted Calafiori because we needed him badly. Unfortunately, Bologna is being very stubborn, but it is what it is. He's off to Arsenal. But other than that, I just want Juve to be like a balanced team. That's all I want. You know. And actually, outgoing, I would like to see Rabiot out as well.
Well, officially he is out. He's not he's not on the books anymore. Officially, he's a free agent. So right now
Ah,
he is out. Officially. But I know like what you mean. It's still possible that he re-signs. Although it feels very unlikely, and if he does, it's probably gonna be at a wage we weren't discussing like a month or two ago. It'll probably be
yeah.
lower than the 8 that he's on right now. But I agree. I don't think he should be part of the club anymore. I think it's time to move on.
Mhm.
I really think it's time to move on from Chiesa. It's been from Chiesa from Rabiot. It's been too long, and like the situation about I'm gonna take my time, whatever. It's boring, and it's time to move on. But we will see. I guess we will see. There will still be time before actually preseason kicks off. But the main targets like Calafiori is gone. Di Gregorio was a main target. That's happening. Colt Miner's the main target. That's right now still not happening. Actually, there's not
Ah,
even a single rumor about a potential offer.
if I may add, now that we got Di Gregorio, now what's going on with Chesney? Are we trying
Same
to sell Saudi Arabia still, or what?
same situation. Monza's interest, like again, like there's no real. Again, these things can escalate really quickly. It can go from no news to a lot of news in 1 week. With okay, Kostic is getting closer to that team. There are actual real talks for Milik. Like, it can get really close. But like the players we're trying to sell, McKennie, Kostic, Milik, they're not priorities for big clubs. They're more so priorities for mid-lower clubs, and they can take their time. Most of them, especially if they're not in the Premier League, they will take their time. So, for some of
Oh,
these
yeah,
players, I think even the Turkish transfer window was open up to in September, so they have time on their hands forever, basically. So
that's the problem. A lot of our players here, like McKennie, like Milik, they're all backup players. You get me? They're not
yeah,
starter-worthy players. So not many clubs would want them. And just to go back on Chiesa, if he did want to leave, his agent should have been like, look, the Euros are here. If you want a name for yourself, play your best, play your heart out during the Euros, so other clubs can basically try, see you and try to bid for you, like how many clubs wanted Calafiori. But unfortunately, Chiesa did very bad in the Euros. So in the end, who's going to want him? Probably just another club in Serie A, like Roma. You get me? Like, he blew it. He had a shot, but he blew it.
yeah,
You get me?
that's basically it. So we just need to wait and see what's gonna happen the next couple of days. I'm gonna bring in the next caller who's waiting for a good 10 minutes, 15 minutes now. But thanks for calling in, guy.
Thank you, man. Later.
Later. Okay, I'll bring you in one sec. Let me read out a few comments again really quickly. So you're saying that an agent told everyone that Motta doesn't want him. If Motta doesn't say it, how can an agent assume that he doesn't want him? Nah, you're not listening. I didn't say that. Motta and Giuntoli could have told Chiesa and his agent, but that doesn't mean Motta or Giuntoli leaked it to the media. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they didn't say that. They could have said that. But the leak can still come from either way. No matter what was gonna said, the leaks are the leaks. So you're stressing on the wrong point right now. Like the fee was always gonna be the fee, not because Motta doesn't rate him, but because how poor he has been performing. Basically, throughout the last 2.5 seasons. That's what the price is going to dictate, not what Mota likes, yes or no. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, wait, let me copy. What's your name? Where are you from? Okay, wait, give me 1 second. And let me bring you in. Can you hear me still? Oh, nobody can hear you. Give me 1 second.
I can hear
Fix
you.
that. Okay, people can hear you now. Um, I will ask you a different question or a different approach to the questions. I think it's the first time you call in, right? Or the second time?
No, the second time.
Second time, okay.
Yes.
What do you make of the transfer window so far? You know, overall.
I think it's going well, but the only the only like hick I have throughout the whole transfer window is like our main targets are getting hard to wrap up. We need an attacking midfielder apparently, a new centre back, and a couple of new fullbacks. And by the looks of things, it's getting really stressful. And to be honest, I'm really stressed by the fact that Chiesa can't really find a very good club.
The main target, like the main priority targets, is kind of. It feels like it's an issue right now. It feels like
Yes.
everybody's a bit not stressing, but like everybody's getting a little bit nervous, like around that point. And I get why. I think it kind of escalated when we quote unquote lost on Calafiori. I think that's where everybody was like, okay, it's good you get Douglas Luiz and Turan, but they were not viewed to be main targets. And like we hear every single day, basically, a bid will come in for Colt Miners, and that's been 10 days ago, and there's still no bid, you know. And even if you rate Colt Miners or not, just the point of he is a main target, and the club's not really moving fast apparently for it, you know. If you look at the team, you know, the way it's set up right now, the squad. Let's say I don't know. I think we played the 18th of August, 19th of August is the first game or something.
Yeah. 19th.
19. So if you just in your head just put 11 players out there, you know, how many players do you think just the squad we have, we definitely need to get in before that game? And with players, I mean players you view they're going to be main starters. I don't need names, just positions that you like. Okay, we need that position filled in because those are going to be key players from now until the end of the season.
Okay, so in my view, we'll start from the centre back position that has been our worry. I think Danilo will start based on the basis like he's a captain, so they can't really freeze him out. But we need a centre back, like because going forward, Danilo can't keep playing centre back for us. Then full backs also, we currently don't have a right back, and I think he's overlooked by the club by now. Then from the central midfield, we're well covered. We'll be needing Coop Miners before the game starts. Then, obviously, starting the first game of the season without a winger was going to be very devastating for us. So I think we need both a left winger, a right winger. Right winger, I mean, to know if Sule is staying or is not, so we can move on. So I think that's what we really need.
I kind of agree. I do agree. Danilo's gonna start, but like because he's the captain. But
that's the only merit he has. Like I feel like as the season goes on, he will just be regimented, more like a Bonucci, the last year he played for us before leaving.
Because we're linked with Todibo. You're not bringing him in to be benched, right? Like that.
That's the point I'm making. Like we're not bringing him to like just sit on the bench and warm the bench. The amount is pretty solid for us to come and warm the bench. I think Danilo will start the first couple of games as a centre back due to captain merit, then later move on to right back, which is my worry. Then from mid-season, like game 19, game 20, I think Morta will just probably make him a 70th minute type of player. He will just come off the bench in the 70th minute and something like that. So let's see as it goes on.
A lot of people share that opinion, by the way. A lot of people share the opinion that it feels like he's gonna kind of freeze out, whatever you want to call it. Danilo, because even the contract situation, like it's high. He's 4.5. He's on 4.5. Excuse me.
I think it's something that's going to happen one way or the other. We just have to wait and see. Then there's something I heard the other caller saying like Adeyemi, like no offense, but like if we're not keeping Chiesa and we're not getting Sancho, I think Adeyemi can stay in Dortmund. He has no end product.
Yeah, I mean, you know what Adeyemi brings? He brings chaos. Like he runs at everything, but
Yeah,
like his end product.
that's the problem. We have had enough of chaos throughout the past season. Like Chiesa was a player who brought chaos. Like we obviously saw no end product. If you look at our strongest rivals, if you look at the attack of Inter, they've got Thuram with Spacey and Lautaro too. But looking at those two players, they're two players that can cause you chaos and at the same time have end products. Same thing goes for Arsenal, Rafael Leao and Pulisic. They both have end product. Pulisic got 20 goal contribution. So at this point in time, as a club moving forward, trying to win the league, we absolutely need chaos and at the same time end point. So if you can't get the two, obviously Sancho has end point. End point. If you watch Sancho, you know he has end point. He obviously has. He just needs to be unlocked. So at the Emmy, I'm sorry, he's the one who caused Dortmund that final, in my own opinion.
Do you rate Sancho? Do you rate Sancho highly? Because even he had a very tough 2 years or so, where it's even off the field, and I'm not like we don't really know what happened off the field. Like it's a mental thing. Then it is what it is, right? You know.
I'll put it out now. People, in my opinion, people who don't rate Sancho are people who have watched him at Man U for the last 2 years. If you watch Sancho before he made the first move to Dortmund, if I'm not mistaken, Sancho was world class. Like Sancho was world class. If you're not gonna call a kettle black, Sancho was world class before he went to Man U. And looking at Man U is always a chaotic club. Casemiro went there, didn't really work out. Ronaldo, just the season didn't really work out. Like a lot of players go to Man U and lose their stand as a player, which is understandable. So I feel under Motta's guidance and the way we play, because looking at Sancho is more like a type of Ossolini when they were playing for Bologna. So I feel like Sancho will work out.
I think a lot of people have doubts on Sancho purely based on, and the doubts are fair, by the way. Like it's 2 seasons of, like if you move on Chiesa because it's not good enough, no end product, it's been poor. Then you bring in Sancho, I think people are like, okay, what are you really doing? But again, if Motta is like, I can use him, and I
Yeah.
believe that I can get the best
At
out of
this
him.
point, yeah, at this point, I feel like we need to just back our coach up. If he says he wants Sancho, we make it work. Because I believe at the end, if everything backfires, it all comes down to the coach. Yeah, after all, he was the one who chose Sancho. And criticizing Sancho, I will say, to be fair, according to you, because of his last 2 seasons. But if you watch when he went back to Dortmund, those UCL nights he played, Sancho doesn't look like a player who is going to be a flop if he gets the right manager. The right manager being the keyword.
That's it. What do you say to people who have an issue with his how do you want to call it? Like the way he conducts himself, late for training, apparently not a hard worker in training.
I think most people forget that Arturo Vidal, when he was at Juve, was one of the players that had the same problem. Most people forget that. And no, the media never got to know about it. I feel it's just the coach mindset. Like I said, the coach wants Sancho, is going to make it work on all sides, mentally, physically, in the game. Because Vida was not a good player off the field. I mean, he drinks literally every night after the game, but he never had such. And he was one of the best midfielders during his time at Juve.
If people on Vidal, I said at the same time, if people know what Vidal did post game, what the club kept out of the media, they wouldn't believe it. They wouldn't believe what the club kept out of the media, and they never really punished him because, like you said, he shows up on the pitch every single week. The club is like, whatever, don't overdo it, basically. And what Cáceres, same, and he wasn't even one of the greatest. He was out partying every single night, basically. I'm not really worried about that. Again, it's all on Giuntoli and Motta. If you bring in that type of player and you believe 100% you can turn him, then good. That's on you.
That's the point. That's what I need here. So I don't really have a doubt on Sancho, his attitude, his gameplay. If Motta thinks he can make it work, I mean, Motta is a great man manager. No one knew Solini before he came in. No one knew Zirkzee. No one knew Ferguson, who we have been linked with all summer. I'm sure if he didn't have injury, that is an ACL injury, we'll be going for him instead of Cup minus.
He will be a
So
strong candidate if he didn't have that injury. 100%.
yeah, yeah. So and he's a very nice player. So I feel like Mota has everything in his arsenal to just manage players. But my hot take is this: like for people who can disagree with it, I feel Calafiori is not 100% over.
Oh,
Like
you know what
I
it
know
is?
it's kind of funny, but Arsenal, like the news just went cold the last, let me say, 5 days. So I feel that, and with Cup Miners not moving on any front, there's just something suspicious there.
Really
Something
quickly,
suspicious.
Romano just tweeted out that they're still in talks. Bologna won 50 million, and they don't want to budge on those 50 million. Arsenal want to include add-ons, and Calafiori is just waiting because he wants to join Arsenal. That's what Romano said. I think it's gonna happen. I don't. I don't think. I like. I don't think the club's like, okay, now we're gonna pay 50 million. He's not going to Arsenal, so we're gonna pay the 50 million. I think Arsenal, that's one of the key targets for Arsenal, and they're just gonna get it over the line at the end of the day. I think Bologna are just, they know they have a big fish right now with
Yeah, yeah,
Arsenal, Premier League club, and they're
that,
milking it.
that's why I call it an hot take. Like it may happen, it may not happen, but I just have it at the back of my mind because if I like tomorrow I wake up and see Calafiori to Juventus, here we go, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't. It's something I have at the back of my mind ringing. Then for the centre back options, I feel like we should just get Todibo and move on with it. Todibo too is also a ball playing, but maybe less progressive than the way we would have loved to see him, the way Calaferi does. But we find it, we move on. Then the fullbacks, obviously, they are really nice links outside here. You get one or two, move on with it, and let the season start. I don't know why fans are being skeptical about things because AC Milan somehow hasn't gotten. They haven't kicked off yet. They just they're getting into talks with Morata, Fofana, and potentially Rabiot just like 2 days ago or something. So, and they haven't gotten anyone in. And believe me, they're one of the title contenders.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's also wait and see. We don't know how the player, like, if Monta's gonna do well, if players are gonna adapt to him, if the new players, like, it's all up in the air. Which apparently we're changing a lot. That's the idea. We're changing a lot, and some might say we're changing too much. I don't really have an issue because you need to change much. There's nothing good left from last season. It's not
Yeah,
like,
yeah. On the point of changing too much, people should understand that the investment being made is not just for a season.
yeah,
I don't think Giuntoli is looking at this market and is building to win the Scudetto this season instantly. I
no,
don't. I doubt it because if you watch the way he worked at Napoli, most of the players he built exceeding when they sold Koulibaly, replaced him with Kim. They sold Insigne, replaced him with Cabra. Most of the players in that squad were investment of 3 years and more. If you understand what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that's where I'll be very let me say it will be very sad to see on Twitter if Juve don't win the title and people start going, oh crazy, oh Monta is a clown. Like this is not a year's investment. This is just to okay, play your part. Let's see. Where do you finish? Do you really go toe to toe with Inter? Because if you go to the only thing I won't accept, if you go against Inter and have those kind of stinky performances we had against them last season, I wouldn't accept that. But if you play Inter, even though they beat us 1-0, and you check everywhere, you watch the match, and Inter themselves know, oh, we play Juve today. Like I'm fine with that. Like I don't need to win everything next season. It's just a step forward for me to know, okay, am I moving in the right direction? Is everything going okay? Then next season it will just be like okay, this piece needs to be added, this piece needs to be removed. Like I feel like players like Locatelli, this is his last season to really prove his of Juve material. Next season, I don't really think he will be given a sort of protection, like to keep going. Same goes for Danilo. Where I absolutely think he's not going to get an extra year. It would be absolutely ridiculous based off what Giuntoli has been doing in the transfer market. I think he's gone. Timothy Weah too. I feel like anytime he gets the chance off the bench, he really needs to take it because next season I don't think Giuntoli is going to accept more Deadwoods in this team. So it's not a 1 year project. That's why I feel that's why Thiago Motta signed 3 years. So time should be given. Patience is needed.
I agree. I fully agree. I said it. No matter who the coach is gonna be, if you're gonna rebuild this, it's gonna take some time. So we need to be patient. It's okay to be worried, to not like certain
Because,
decisions, but only
because
time will
people
tell.
people people forget a lot of things because you see Manchester City today, most of the investment is still in Doku, Stones. The investment for 5 years,
Yep.
5 years ago. Like Guardiola didn't win the league in his first 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, at Manchester City. He didn't. And now they look like no matter how bad they can be and stink up, they're going to win the Premier League again next season. So it's obviously no doubt they're turning the league to sort of a farmers league.
Yeah. Um, man, I'm gonna wrap it up. So thanks for calling in. Always nice to
Yeah,
speak to you. Speak
thanks.
to you soon again.
Ciao.
Ciao. People, I'm gonna wrap this one up. It's becoming very late. No real news. No real news coming out. Just Rabiot linked to Galatasaray, but that's that sounds as ridiculous as it sounds funny. Not gonna lie. Probably bullshit or like not true, whatever. But that's it. Still no coal miners offer apparently. So not sure what this week will bring. Probably nothing special again. And then it's week 3 of July, and then yeah, it started to move. It needs to move a bit faster. So we just need to wait and see. I think that one domino needs to fall before everything can fall into place at the club. People, if you haven't liked the video, hit the like button right now on your way out, or if you're rewatching as well. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification. I'll be back live on Friday, so stay tuned for that. And that's it for me. Have a good evening or morning for some of you.